Starting out your guided practice problem set, on each figure, draw the transformation described. And look at A. It's a reflect triangle ABC, and I cross out ABC on purpose to make sure that you know when we don't have a triangle, and then remember triangle is 3 sides. So when we don't have a triangle, we cannot call it triangle. If we have a rectangle, we can say rectangle, square, parallelogram, trapezoid. We can always say it by its name. But when we don't have it, we can only call it polygon. Figure A, B, C, D, E. There are 5 sides on this one, and we don't have a specific name for it. You can say, remember, polygon or figure. Across the y-axis, where is it? That's the vertical line. This line, pretend this is a straight line, and this is your mirror. You're going to reflect it, and the drawing that you have in the first quadrant, positive is where you have the first quadrant, and then when you move counterclockwise, it will go in order. Quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. We have the name of the quadrant on number 3, problem C, quadrant 1, and then going counterclockwise, quadrant 2, 3, and then finally quadrant 4. Any point first. It doesn't matter if I start with the A or the B or the E. Count the space from the symmetry line. What I would do first, I count 4, 5. This E point I see is right here across 2, 4, 5 to the right. Then I'm going to go to the left and count 5 spaces from that mirror or that symmetry line and put point E prime in. The original, we call it pre-image image. And with the image, identify it by the arrow, or the arrow going that directions. And then the E, I named it with the prime or a little dash on top. We call it prime. If I transform it again, I would have E prime prime. So there are 2 dash. And then if I do another transformation on that one, I would do say E prime prime prime, 3 dash, right? And then keep moving up with the number of prime. That's how many times I have transformed it. To the next letter, you may do the D or the A, but you want to go ahead and move it in the same direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the A, and I will try to do clockwise. I'll continue to do the reflections for A, B, C, D, and E. Remember, we can count the space from the symmetry line, or we can say diagonally, how many rows, how many columns, reflect it over, and remember to name all the letter with the prime. And make sure that you double check it's still the same size, the same shape. 1 dash because we only did 1 transformation. If we do another transformation on that, maybe we reflect it onto the x-axis, then that's a second transformation. Name all the letter with 2 prime. Color it in and distinguish it from the original or the pre-image. Guided practice problem B, we ask you to translate A, B, C, D, E, 6 units to the left and 2 units down. There are 3 ways that you can write this translations. Write one. This is the basic way. When we first learned it, basic. The second way that we can write it is using the rule, and I need you to make sure that you know how to read that rule and write that rule. And we are going to have this one starting with the pre-image, the original x, y inside the parenthesis, this arrow over or mapping to. The transformation is 6 units to the left, so we have the x part first because left or right is on the x-axis. Going to the left is -6. Going to the right, we would have +6. And then the second part in order, first part x, second part y, alphabetically also x comes first and then y. Y is where we are going up or down. Going up, you are going to get positive. So if you have going up, it would be a y + 2. And when you're going down on the y-axis, going down is this direction, y - 2 instead of y + 2. That's the second way, and we really need you to know how to read and write that rule. The third way, which you don't see often, and I'm not going to focus on it, but I need you to know the third way of writing it is inside the parenthesis like this. When we lay it flat, it's still in order, x first and then y. And then when we have it on the vertical way like this one, you are going to have it in order. The top part is the X and the second part is the Y. The same rule, we're writing it like that inside the bracket vertically. So this way that you see right here is when you are going to take the physics class, you will see vectors written that way. You will also see in the future when you go to work, you might see it written that way in the third way. In our class for geometry, we are going to just require you to know the first way, the basic writing. The second way, when we translate with the rule, we can read and write that rule. Let's begin translation. Moving 6 units to the left, 2 units down, and we are going to translate all 5 of those points A, B, C, D, E. They start with the any point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 down. My B prime is going to be right there. So 6 units to the left for the A. Starting on A pre-image, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 units down. That's my A prime. You can connect them as you go, or you can wait until you finish all 5 of those points, translate over 6 units left, 2 units down, and then you connect. I translate 6 units to the left, 2 units down. I'm going to double check and make sure that it's still the same shape. It did not dilate and make it bigger. I did not shrink it and make it smaller. It's the same, exact same size. Remember, congruent figures. The pre-image, arrow over to the image. And remember, if you can, color the image, and that way it's slightly different than the pre-image. Rotation is going to be a little bit more challenging. What you want to do when you are going to have that is make sure that you know which quadrant is going to end up. Rotate this triangle ABC 90 degree. Remember 90 degree? 90 degree counterclockwise. We add the blue arrow in counterclockwise. I know that from quadrant 1, where the triangle is in my quadrant 1, positive X, positive Y, when I move it 90 degree, it can only end up in quadrant 2. If I turned it one more 90, 180 degree, it will end up in quadrant number 3. If I turned it 180 degree. And then if I add one more 90 degree into the 180 degree, I know that my shape will end up in quadrant number 4. That's where I might get if I am turning it 90, 180, 270 degree. When I turn 360, we get back to the original triangle. To make it easier, you are going to draw a little handle from the origin. The origin is 0, 0. From the origin, I draw a handle to my closest point on the triangle, whichever that may be. And this closest point happened to be an A. Okay, so there's the handle that go with the yellow line right there. Now you know that the handle will go over here for 90 degree. Okay, it will go up here. And that's where A prime point is going to end up. It's going clockwise. It will end up in the 4th quadrant. Remember, 90 degree clockwise is the same as 270 degree counterclockwise. A prime right there, that's my first point. My second point, remember, imagine the turn. My second point, I can go ahead and use the paper to trace it. And remember, if you're using the paper to trace it, you are going to keep the pencil tip on the origin. And then you will just turn the paper 90 degree, pencil tip on the origin so that the paper doesn't move. Turned it. You still draw the handle, and remember the tip is on the origin, and then you just turned it like that. If you have the paper this way, you turn it 90 degree, it will turn that way. Double check and make sure that it turned correctly. My ABC, it looked like it's over here. Remember also to name all your letter with the prime. Go ahead and color in or shade in your image. Make sure to double check. Is it still the same size? Is it still the same shape? If it's been changed, then it's wrong. We need you to know how to turn 90 degree, how to turn 180 degree, how to turn 270 degree, which is 90 degree in the opposite direction, right? And Finally, the 360 degree is a full circle where you get back to the same place. Turn. This is when the direction doesn't matter, because counterclockwise or clockwise, we still end up with the same positions. So that's when you might not get a direction on turning those angle. If we ask you to turn 180 degree angle, we might not give you counterclockwise or clockwise or 360 degree. And the C is done. We have completed all 3 guided practice problems. Now it's your turn on transformation. And when you're done with it, take the quiz, check for understanding while it's still fresh in your mind. Make sure that you finish that. I hope this is helpful. Thank you for watching.